Hello everyone, welcome to our channels. I don't know when we're going to upload this video, but we will see. Oliwia is here. We've been talking about authenticity, and Oliwia told me that there's so many people in the surrounding that talk about authenticity and they say, oh, you should be authentic, you should be authentic. So we were discussing what authenticity actually is. And so what was authenticity for you?
I mean, this what I understand under authenticity is to speak out of the energy that you're carrying in each moment, right? That if you have a good mood, then you let it shine through, or if you have like a deeper topic, then you allow yourself also to step into these energies. This is what I understand now under authenticity. But to be honest, sometimes I was also struggling with the topic between authenticity and identities, you know? Because, for example, I like so many things and I've been in so many different places. So sometimes I'm like, okay, but what is now for me the authentic self that I am? The mood is the one thing that I'm feeling, but the other thing is that also how I talk, how I dress, which words I'm using and stuff like that. It can change and vary. So that's why it sometimes makes it a little bit difficult for me to know, okay, what is the real authentic me right now?
Yeah, but I mean, being authentic, regardless of the performance or regardless of the now, being authentic as a state of mind in general. What is it for you? Like somebody who's living authentic, somebody who's... What is not authentic?
Oh man. I mean, living authentic, I think it's connected to each emotion that you're having in this moment, you know, to acknowledge the state that you are in right now. This is what comes up to my mind, what I try, for example, to find out each day when I wake up. So, okay, what do you feel right now? Which energy do you have right now? Do you feel energized? Do you feel like happy? And to go with this kind of flow. And you?
I mean, you know, you remember this from your experience, and we all know those experiences we went through, how we worked on something, for example, and we achieved certain results, and they were inspiring because they were authentic. We were not trying to imitate anyone. We're not trying to steal ideas from anyone. We're not trying to like exchange destinies with anyone to be somebody who's not us. Everyone is aware of his place and what we know, where we come from, our backgrounds, our languages. And based on that, we are trying to live our lives. We are not trying to be something that is not us. And you know that also it reflects in our work, in our art. And you know it from your personal life, how many people that watched your journey and watched what you do on Instagram, for example, or on other social media, and they started copying one-to-one. Like, they didn't do those things before. They were busy in a whole different reality. They saw what you're doing. Suddenly they are trying to follow your actions. But again, only what is on the surface. They don't know what you go through, what you actually, the inside, the journey, the essence of things. They're just imitating what is above the surface. They have no access to what is under the surface. And that's why all the changes and all the actions, they are superficial. Okay, technically, they might look like what you are doing or what we are doing. But you can see that those actions and those objectives or achievements, or they're not relevant to their needs, to who they are. So, and this is for me, is like the holy grail of our life, for sure, as an artist, but also as a person. You want to be who you are. You want to live your passion. You want to live the lifestyle and the life that is in line with your values and with your needs and what you love and the people that you love. If you live just an imitation of someone or of a concept, you're living after a concept that you read in a book or you saw in a film, or then you reflect or you project everything based on what you saw in that film or what you read in that book. Then you are not present in the right here and now, and what you're living, what you are doing, with whom you are interacting. So even when it comes to relationships, the relationships when they are not authentic, when you're not present with the other person and you're listening to what's going on.
But you see, because we are living in a society here where everyone is like trying to live based on this concept and based on what others are doing, when you ask me what is authenticity, it's still like I still am on a journey to figure it out each day. So yes, I would say that I live my authentic self every day, but there's a lot of noise that was made in the past, and many roles that I also tend to put up upon myself to appeal to certain people, or subconsciously I was doing it because everyone around us is doing it. And this is so interesting because it shows like how they present, or how people present themselves here in the society, but also as artists, as you say, what they choose to produce as an art, you know. Like, for example, I heard about someone who was doing something about sustainable clothing, but they themselves like buy clothes from fast fashion, and they did like a piece about sustainable clothing. And I think this shows very much of how unauthentic we are living here in the society. So that's why when someone says just be authentic, you know, just be your authentic self. We also talk about it so much here. It's just be your authentic self. But if the society is not authentic, then how can you then
and also kind of you find it even in workshops and at those places, the most unauthentic people just throwing the word be authentic just to sound amazing, just to sound good, and they themselves are not authentic. And it becomes a cliche, like it's a word that just has no meaning.
Exactly.
So no wonder that people are confused. What is authentic? Who's authentic? What is and especially now here in, let's say in Germany, if we want to talk about the art scene, where people cannot see the difference between an artist living from the funds and the government, and an artist who really sovereign and creates his own work, and people can, for society, both are the same. Even also the measurement of authenticity is not clear. How can you, there's no standard, how can you know who is what? In the eyes of the average citizen, both look the same, they're all the same.
Exactly, and also this artist was also filling some papers and they get some money, and that's why they could do something like this. But I guess in a society where they would not get money just like that, they would need to put way more work into it to make this kind of piece about sustainable clothing. But in Germany you can just do it, you just need to fill in the right apply papers and then you get it. And then you can like kind of bullshit yourself and others and sell it as something like high value and stuff like that. Yeah. So for me, like authenticity, I would say that every day I discover myself more and my authentic self, and I just try to follow my energies. Yeah. And it's a thing of put on this all unauthentic things that the layers, you know, of all the years. Unlayer.
Yeah, I mean, everyone is coming from one's own background, cultural background, languages, experiences, family experiences, personal experiences. So you have a whole complexity of character. Why would you want to give all of this away just in order to appear like somebody else? To follow a concept. You have all the wealth on your side.
But this is such an interesting point that you're saying, because me myself, I also have like a multicultural background, and when I moved here it was also said that I should integrate myself fully, which meant to let go of all the culture that I brought with me, the language, the kind of behavior. It was not like, most people did not welcome it. They wanted to integrate myself to become like fully 100% German. So now I have like this reflection, like, or insight that maybe that's why also I was like, okay, so what is my authentic self? If you grew up in a society that always tells you that the authentic self that you brought into the society is not the right thing to be.
Yeah, but also, this is your fingerprint. This is your authentic self, is your fingerprint that has to do only with who you are. There is no one else has this fingerprint. not only kind of culturally, that you come from Poland or we have languages, the whole complexity of experiences that you had since your childhood, they created who you are, how you see the world, how you judge reality, how you perceive reality. And from this point of view, you have an access to a vision and to an inspiration that many people don't. Why would anyone wants to give this away just in order to appear intelligent, just in order to appear sophisticated, just in order to appear like someone else, or like just to follow a certain concept? And so many compromises people make just to give away their authenticity. They sell it for cheap. Anyway, I think we talked a lot, and thank you for being with us in another episode. You want to say something?
No, for next time, for sure. Because you opened now something, another topic for sure, but we can just talk about it next time.
Yeah, you can go for it.
Yeah, because you say, like, why would anyone, like, let go of these experiences that one have and bring into this culture? Is because, you know, they might be gaslighted. Because it's not cool enough, this kind of experiences whatsoever, you know. They just don't fit into what people want to listen from you and how they want to present themselves. So some people's stories will be accepted and will be glorified even, and some other people's experiences are just don't fit into the people's mindset and the agendas.
Now, here's the thing. Are you willing to stay authentic and to pay the price? Because here's the thing also. Everyone is telling you be authentic, until you're really authentic. And they will all want you now.
Don't play it.
Yeah. Now everyone is against you.
That's true.
Everyone is against you because you're really authentic. So when they tell you be authentic, it's like kind of that they appear that they like you, but don't be that real thing, because then you put all of us in shame.
Exactly.
You expose how unauthentic we all are. So, yeah, authenticity, you want to live authentic, there's a price. Not everyone will like us, especially the people around, you know.
Yeah, that's a price.
But it's worth it. Like, life that has been lived unauthentically is painful. And people will realize that only when they're too old and it's too late.
Yeah, because you're always off balance. Like, now the journey that I'm walking is like, feels like, okay, now I go into my own balance again. I balance myself out. I acknowledge who I am and what I bring to the table and my own energies, and what's more beautiful than this.
Yeah. Okay, everyone. Thank you for being with us with Shredy and Oliwia in the park.
Thank you.
This was another episode. Thank you. Ciao.
Ciao, ciao.